On today's Domain Sherpa review, can you still hand register domain names today and build a valuable portfolio? We'll find out. Some great names going to auction soon at NameJet. Names like wacko.com, unx.com, 3 letters are hot, and pink.net may be undervalued. And the Name That Price game gets some surprising results. Stay tuned. I have 3 sponsor messages before we get into today's show. First, if you have a great domain name and nothing to show when people visit, you're missing out on potential advertising revenue, leads, and partnership opportunities. NicheWebsites.com can build you a site quickly with a price option to suit any need. But as their tagline says, they don't just build websites, they build businesses. NicheWebsites.com. Second, if you're buying or selling a domain name or portfolio and you want an estimate of its value, Estabot.com is the place to go. Just like you'd visit Zillow.com to get an estimate of a house value, Estabot.com provides key information about the most important statistics so you can make an informed decision based on data. Finally, whether you're buying, selling, brokering, or financing a domain name, you need an escrow company that's properly licensed, bonded, insured, and audited. That company is escrow.com, and they've been doing it since 1999. Escrow.com. It's about trust. Hey everyone, I'm Michael Cyger, publisher of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the Domain Sherpa Review. This is the show where we get into the minds of successful domain name investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics. We have 3 sections to the review: an investor-submitted domain name portfolio to discuss and value, a marketplace list from NameJet.com, and we're going to wrap it all up with our Name That Price game. Joining us today on the Domain Sherpa Review are 3 past Sherpas and thought leaders. In order from left to right, we have Adam Dicker, CEO of DNForum.com and NicheWebsites.com, the company that will help you build, rank, and update your business website. Andrew Rosener, CEO of DNForum. DNForum.
Did I sell it to him already?
I'm going on autopilot. Andrew Rosener, CEO of the domain brokerage MediaOptions at MediaOptions.com and partner of the reverse auction domain name marketplace DNX.com. And on the far right, we have Paige Howe, founder of the JoeDomains.com marketplace and DomainTipSheet.com, where you can find great hand-selected domain names for reg fee pricing. Sherpas, welcome to today's show.
Thanks,
Michael. Good to
all
be
I can say is that's how rumors get started, Mr. Cyger.
Exactly. You've probably also noticed an additional face on the panel. I'd like to welcome to the domain investor, Bradley Diaz, to the show. Welcome, Bradley.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
We're going to jump right into the first section of the show. In the domain portfolio review, we take user-submitted domain name portfolios and provide honest and constructive feedback to the owners. Thank you to everybody that has supported the Domain Sherpa review so far. I do have quite a list of people who would like to be on the show, like Bradley has joined us today. I'm going to open that up on today's show. People have been notified. I try not to allow too many people to come in because then you have to wait a long time like Bradley did. So Bradley, let me first off say thank you for your patience. If you're watching today's show on YouTube, click on the link in the description below to look at the list of domain names that are on today's show. As part of Bradley's submission, he made a generous donation to the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center to help us all find a cure for cancer. Bradley's list of 25 domain names starts with AspenColorado.com and ends with walk-in-tub.com. Adam, let's start with you. I heard you have a new way that you want to review domain names. What's your new process? And let's jump in about what you think Bradley's list is looking like using that process.
Thank you, Mike. So what I've been doing lately is going in a bit more detail on these reviews so that the people who submit their portfolios and are contributing handsomely can benefit a bit more. So I'm putting little symbols beside them, basically saying if I think it's a premium, where they should keep it, where they should drop it, whether they should just hold on to it and let it expire or sell it, whether it's a trademark, and then I'm doing whether they should build it and how they should build it. So whether it's build it with a lead generation, build it with affiliate products, build it as an informational site, build it as a directory, or build it and add an ebook that you can give away for free or download for 20 bucks or whatever. So I'm trying to add much more detail, and I'm finding that it's pretty helpful. Hopefully Bradley's going to like it. Although he's been smiling the whole time, it's because we had a pretty good early green room show before this, so he's pretty happy. But I did tell him before this show, and I'll repeat it for the users, that this portfolio is one of the most interesting portfolios we've had, only because there's a lot of really good ones on here, and a lot of really, well, not a lot, but a few no-value ones. So usually we see a tendency where somebody either knows what they're doing or they don't know what they're doing. And I think Bradley's got a bit of both in that, so it should be interesting. Maybe you picked up the better ones as you got more familiar with the industry. I don't know. We'll have to assume that. So without further ado, let's start. So Aspen, Colorado, I love it. I think it's a good premium name, and I think it would be a great name for a directory where you could sell listings and advertising. And if you go to a company called premiumpress.com, they have a business directory script there that's about $80, and it's really good. I'm running it on a couple sites now. So, I mean, that's a good one for that. Bank-owned homes. Now, I thought I wasn't going to be a fan of these dashes. I'm not a fan of this one, even though it's got 11 advertisers. So I'm going to say don't renew it. Sell it if you can before it expires. Board Engaged is another one. Don't renew. Sell. Cannabis lawyers. I like that one. I think you could do that as a directory for all the cannabis lawyers that are out there, and even add an ebook on what's legal, what's not legal, what states it in, where it's available, and you can do some affiliate stuff with that. So that's a good site for building a good business. Carry-on bags, again, drop it or sell it if you can. Data analytics degree, at first I thought this was kind of funny, and then I looked it up, and there are actually degrees for data analytics. So I like that one. I did find a bunch of universities where you could get some revenue by doing lead generation for them. So I build that one as a lead generation. Digital Camarera, unless it's something in Spanish and I don't know what it is, forget it. Bye. E-marijuana seeds, sell it. Escrow service, definitely a premium, definitely a build, and you probably want to do something with a partner or something on that one because it's a great name. It's probably one of your better names in the list, and even Esteban says so. Fixed dash rate mortgage, nope, drop, sell. Gay vacays, I'd keep it because it's kind of brandable, but I'd still try to sell it. And then the other one, GS, what the heck was that one?
G-Spot Toy?
Yeah, I don't know what that is, so. Oh, G-Spot Toy, now I know. No wonder I couldn't find it. It's hard to find it. Anyway, that's good. I'd set it up as an affiliate site, all kidding aside. And,
Are you having trouble finding it?
Yeah, I always
That's
have.
what she said.
I'm not even sure I'm not even sure this domain exists, but if it does, I'd definitely want to set up an adult affiliate and sell some stuff with it. iBeautify, I like it. I would keep it. It's a brandable. The next one, Le Marais, it's a city in Paris. It's also the name of lots of restaurants. So again, that's another one for directory and advertising. Low-interest credit cards, drop, sell. Maui Hawaii, again, build it. Build a directory. You can sell advertising on that stuff. Melts fast away. I like it. It's good for a brandable, but I'd keep it and I'd sell it. Modern makeovers. This one's really good for, it's good for lead gen. It's good for a bunch of other stuff, so I keep it. Moving to New York, good name. Lead gen again for moving companies. I think it's great. Nice, France, again, another directory. So you've got a lot of these you could do directory stuff on. And although it's hard to make money off a directory, I'm able to do it. And as long as you work hard, you'll be able to do it as well. Now this one I like, no dash fee apartments, because that's usually the way it is. And those are really big, especially in places like New York and things like that. Although it's got very little traffic and no advertising, I think you can do something good with that one. This online poker game with a dot in the middle, drop it, goodbye. Prescripts, keep and sell. Unclogged, keep, and probably sell. It's a great name for a plumbing company. Awesome name for a plumbing company. And I like walk-in tub with the dash. I think that one's a good one too. But if I had to pick out of this list, I love your Aspen, Colorado. I love escrow service, and I really like cannabis lawyers. Those ones have some real potential, and I think you're on the right track with your buying.
Adam, let me ask you for some retail pricing on these. If you owned them and you were listing them for sale, what would you price AspenColorado.com at?
Well, it's a real vacation town. I mean, it's definitely over six figures for me.
Yeah, over six figures. Would you, if somebody came to you with a $50,000 offer, would you take it?
Honestly, it depends on the financial situation of the seller. If they came with a $50,000 offer, I would know I'd be able to get them up a lot higher because opening offers are just that.
All right. What about escrowservice.com? What would you price that one at?
See, that one's a really good one. Escrow puts it at, Esteban puts it at $60K. I put it at more like $100 to $150 because it's a category-defining name. I mean, it's an escrow service. This is a name where even if he sold it to escrow.com, the traffic would be there to make it worthwhile in the index. It's a good name. Whoever he sells it to, it's a really good name.
What about cannabislawyers.com?
I like that one. I mean, it needs development, so I'd put that one, just because it's getting so big and so popular, I'd put that one at about 10 right now, and I know Drew's going to love that because he's big into the cannabis.
We'll see if he likes it when we get to him.
Smiling already, so and that's probably why he put it on the list, because he knows Drew's going to want to buy it.
So you put it about 10K?
10 now, but if you build it out, it could be priceless, because... Well,
if you build out any of them, they could be worth more, but now it's just a domain name.
This one's so hot in the news, and it's the advertising potential, the stores selling cannabis. I mean, it's a category killer.
Okay. All right. And you told us which one you would drop. I don't think you mentioned any trademarks. This looks like a pretty clean list.
Yeah, no, it's a good list. I mean, now maybe he's hidden the trademarks, but this is a nice, clean list.
All right, Paige, let's go over to you. What, in contrast to what Adam thinks, what do you think it might have a little bit more value than what Adam saw, or what do you agree with Adam on?
Well, in general, I usually agree with Adam. I'll say a couple things. So the Aspen, Colorado is a great geo, great town. It's one of those towns that's worth way more than its population, way more than its whatever, just because of the amount of money that's spent. It's interesting how the city plus state, they get incredible stats because of the number of people that type in a full address into Google. So they type in something, Aspen, Colorado, or Aspen Co. And I think sometimes that really blows through the stats, so you get some amazing numbers. But it's one of those places that carries a lot more cachet than the size of the town. So it may be the 450th biggest city in the U.S., but it might be the 80th best geodomain. So sounds great. Like Adam said, if you can build it out, it's going to be even better.
What would you price it at?
What's that?
What would you price it at?
Well, I'd want to buy it for really cheap. If I sold it, I would love to get 50 for it. So I haven't seen too many of those go crazy up in the tens of thousands. But you can certainly ask it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you've got some substitution once you get outside of Aspen.com. So now you've got AspenColorado.com, you've got AspenCo.com, you've got really nice, Aspen. You've got, it's kind of a one, it's not the same as Adjective plus Aspen, it's better than that. But there is some substitution for it. So if you're a seller and you bought it for under probably 3,000 or 4,000, I bet, then you can do 10 to 1. I think that would be great. So I may not hold out for the 100.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Okay. What else do you like on the list?
Let's see. Escrow service, obviously, probably the same thoughts. So the Dash ones were interesting. I probably go along with Adam's comment, but I would renew the other ones. I think the bank-owned homes and fixed-rate mortgage, our market is just inefficient enough that somebody, when searching for a name or when searching through the registrars, is going to have this show up as a related name to something that they want to buy. And I think it's worth the optionality of $8 a year for, say, 5 years for the chance that it sells for 2,000 to 4,000. So I would probably keep the bank-owned homes and the fixed-rate mortgage. Bank-owned homes may be a bigger market than the mortgage.
So you're saying keep them. Pay the renewals for 5 years. Make sure that you set the price and list it in Afternic so it shows up in the in the registration stream at GoDaddy and other websites. So somebody might just click the button to purchase it for $3,000.
Yeah, and you may not sell it. You're not going to know if it's a good move until it sells, and you may in 5 years say, well, it didn't work, and let it go. I don't think you're going to have in between. I don't think you're going to have a situation where it's really worth $220. You know what I mean? And so I think it's worth taking the shot because one of the things I do with a lot of the dashes is I type them into a spell checker and see if it comes up saying no. And then type it in without the dash and see if it comes up saying no. And that's kind of the way most people decide whether to add a dash or not add a dash anymore, is whether your spell checker is going to format that in your email and say it's misspelled. And so that's one of the ways I use to determine whether the dash works.
Okay.
Where was I different? Maui, Hawaii was a good geo. We've done a lot with Maui names only because it's not really a city and it's not really a state. So if someone ran a list of cities, they would have missed it. If someone ran a list of states, they would have missed it. And so because it's an island, but it's still the best geo for that island, you can sometimes pick up some really good names. So I have a feeling you probably bought that right. Moving to New York is probably the one that I thought had a chance to obviously have built out just because of the number of products and services that a new person to a city needs to buy. And so that would be one that I would put some effort into, especially have some New York knowledge, and probably try to make it worth more than it is just as a domain. It's nice as a domain, but I would try to make that one worth more.
Okay, so you'd try and build that one and add some value.
Or at least
If you own that page and somebody approached you today, what do you think moving to New York retail value is?
I'd probably ask $6,000 for it.
Yep. And what do you think the retail price on MauiHawaii.com is?
$3,500.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts on this portfolio page?
Nope. I have a feeling you're buying these really attractively, and you are, you're kind of like you've got a ticket to the show, but you've got a discounted ticket that you bought through Groupon because you bought the E or the I or the dash or whatever. But if you're in that cheap enough, that's okay. But then I really like the fact that you do have escrowservice.com because you've got one big-time Studley name to sit there and say, I'm in the business, I'm an online entrepreneur with this big opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that was a nice one to mix in with the rest of them, which I think if you get a reasonable price, I have a feeling you bought them low, so you're going to have good profit in.
Well, I'm going to ask Bradley as soon as Drew is done reviewing how much he bought some of these for, and we'll find out if he got a Warren Buffett valuation or not. Hey, Drew, let's go over to you.
Hold on, before we go to Drew, just one interjection.
Yeah.
That moving to New York, I've dealt with people that own lots of domain names with moving to big cities. They make a lot of money on lead gen. That's a $20K name as it is. So build it as a lead gen site, and you'll make a lot more money with it.
All right, Adam thinks $20K, Paige thinks $6K. Drew, let's go over to you, and you can start wherever you want on the list. What do you think?
Okay, so we've kind of gone through the whole list. I'm not going to do that again, so I'm going to just pick out a few of the names that I kind of liked here, and maybe mention a few that I particularly don't like. There was 4 names that kind of stood out to me, although I also like movingtonewyork.com. We had, I think it was movedtopanama.com when we first moved here, and I used to get a ton of inquiries on that. I think I sold it. We may still, I don't know if we sold it or have it, but a lot of people used to inquire about it. So I think New York is 100, maybe 1,000x what Panama is. So I think that's but the names that I had originally selected were cannabis lawyers. I probably don't like it as much as you guys were insinuating I would like it. I've sold a lot of domains that were either lawyer or lawyers with some kind of geo domain attached to it, which I think, gives it the same sort of niche that it does if you put, DUI lawyer or lawyers in front of it, or cannabis lawyer or lawyers in front of it, or, any other specific niche. I mean, obviously the size may vary depending on search volume and what those lawyers are paying for those leads. But, I like the singular a lot. If it was cannabislawyer.com, I'd say, lights out. You've got a home run name here. Well, home run being, somewhere in the mid 5 figures. And, I think Google has all but killed the directory model. In small niches, you can still build a successful directory. You can still make money. Adam is continuing to do it. But it's more of an uphill battle than it used to be, and you've got a lot of competition, and now you're competing with Google. So I don't like directory names as much as I used to, and I think cannabis lawyers, although it could be a larger firm that has multiple lawyers, and we are, that's something we specialize in, we're cannabislawyers.com, it does lend itself to the directory model. Now, I think if I were going to buy that name, I probably want to pay more than a couple of grand, $2,000 for it. And if I were going to sell it, I'd be looking for probably 15. I think, MediaOptions has a pretty significant cannabis-related domain portfolio ourselves. I negotiate almost daily on some of those names, and I got to be honest, the industry is just not where it will be in 5 to 10 years.
Right.
It's very grassroots right now. It's very small business oriented. Most of these companies are, well, they're all startups because
Yeah.
it's only been legal for a very short time. And even the well-funded companies, are sparing with their cash, to say the least. And I have not seen many people, although there have been a few exceptions, that are ready to pull out the wallet and spend big on cannabis-related domains. So I think 15 is probably where that name tops out now. I think in 5 years it's probably 25 to 50. The other
What
names.
else do you like on the list, Drew? I know you've been gone for like 8 weeks on vacation. We missed you, but we got to pick up the pace here.
Okay, so the other names, escrowservice.com.
Yep.
I mean, on the surface, light out name. We all loved it.
How much?
If I could come into the domain industry tomorrow, and be in any business, I'd want to be escrow.com. Now, the problem is that we've all seen what's happened with new escrow businesses, and they're not exactly blowing up out of the water. Now, it could be argued that it wasn't a bad business to start. We don't know the numbers behind it, but Amar started Agreed.com, and very shortly thereafter has sold it to escrow.com. Maybe it was because it was a crap business. Maybe it was because escrow really wanted it. God only knows, and Amar. So I think, although I love that name on the surface, and don't get me wrong, I would buy it, and I'd probably pay you $5,000 for it right now. But the truth of the matter is that escrow.com is escrow.com. It seems very hard to compete with them. Several have tried. I've yet to see somebody succeed, unfortunately, because nobody likes a monopoly. And so I wouldn't want to be escrowservice.com and try and compete with escrow.com.
All right, so you'd want to buy it for $5,000, and if you owned it, Drew, how much would you say it was priced at retail?
Well, I'd be looking for probably the same as what everybody else said, $50,000 probably. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not that confident that you're going to get an end user. Who is the end user? Escrow.com doesn't want it.
Not to interrupt your set, but I mean, escrow is a lot more than domains. I mean, if you're not in an escrow state in the U.S., you don't know it. But if you buy and sell a house in California, you're spending $2,000.
Escrow.com is the largest online escrow service in the world. And they're involved in real estate, cars, heavy equipment.
Right.
They're involved in a lot of different businesses. They have dedicated business development. They go out. They try and source business in other verticals. If they're doing it now, and I know, that domains is more than 90% of their business.
Right.
So if they're doing it now, that other stuff outside of domains is such a small, negligible piece of their business. Maybe there's an argument to be made that there's an opportunity there, but my feeling is that if they've tried it, it's only a very small part of their business, and they're the world leader, dominator, king. I don't know that I want to go out and try and compete with them. So my point is simply that escrow service, while on the surface, huge name, love it. If it was in an auction, I'd be buying it. At the same time, I'm not sure that it's an easy sell.
Okay.
At a good price. Modern makeovers, love it. That's a lot of people are doing renovations. You can get money cheap from the bank. And a lot of that is going to renovating older homes as well as buying new homes. And Modern Makeovers is just an absolute lights out, great brand for one of those companies.
Okay.
And I think that's probably, when I say it's an easy sell at $25,000, I mean that's when the buyer comes knocking on your door. It's not a name that you're going to come to me and say, "Hey, Andrew, go sell this for $25,000 for me." I'd say, look, I'll put it in my newsletter for $2,500. But if I own it and the buyer comes knocking on your door, I think that's. I wouldn't sell it for less than 25, or at least not much less.
Okay.
And then, as Adam said, unclog.com, great name for a plumbing service. I mean, it's, maybe unclog is better because it's a call to action, but unclogged is still a great brand for a plumbing service. I think, if I owned it, I'd be looking for, 15 to 25.
15 to 25, you said? And do you think a plumbing
Yep.
service would actually pay 15 to 25?
Until a few months ago, I would have said no, but I've been negotiating with a plumbing service on behalf of a client for another domain, a 2-word domain that is, one very specific service that plumbing companies offer, and we're up to $500,000, and the seller still won't sell it.
Wow.
So, Yeah, I think that there are plumbing companies. Man, I grew up. There was a guy that lived down the street from me. He owned a plumbing company, and I mean, we all made fun of him, like, your dad cleans toilets for a living, and it's like, they had a big house. They had an in-ground swimming pool. I didn't have a big house or an in-ground swimming pool.
You made fun of him, but you always wanted to go over to his house to go swimming. I see what's going on.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think you'd be surprised. I think some of these plumbing companies, they have multiple technicians, and they've got a fleet of trucks, and they've got a 1-800 number, and they've got billboards. These guys are making money.
All right.
They know how to market.
Hey, Bradley, you mentioned that in your email to me that you have a portfolio of about 300 domain names. This is 25 of the domain names. You mentioned that you try to hand register great names. You can't get the great ones nowadays. This is your portfolio. Drew has made, an offhand remark that he would probably buy a couple of these off of you. Escrow service, $5K. Cannabis lawyers, $2K. Are those hand registrations, or did you buy those in an auction?
I would say 99% of whatever I have, 300.com domain names I have are all hand reg. I got into this kind of late, so I says, try to get second or even third-rate names. You never know, in the future they might have some potential value, especially if you develop it. So I believe there's something there. That said, the 25 names here, again, they're all hand registered except for, Aspen, Maui, Hawaii, escrow service. I purchased those. I got in contact with the person directly.
Yeah.
I believe for most of those there. And I got them for one or two of them I got for a few $100. Aspen and Maui, I spent a few thousand for that.
Yep.
Immediately when I saw it, I says, get it. Just get it. All right, now check the stats. Let's see what happens. And the stats look pretty good too. And based on all your videos and the Sherpa's valuable advice over the years, get it. So I got it.
Yeah. Well, and I look at those and I think, hey, those are great cities, states, Maui being, an island. I go to Maui every year. I'd love to own Maui.com. I don't know if I'd want to put in the effort to build out MauiHawaii.com. Adam, is that silly to think that people don't want to own it when it's let's call it a city plus a state.com? Or are people still buying these nowadays?
People are still, listen.
End users. Are end users still buying these nowadays?
An end user that runs a travel agent that specializes in Maui has a chance. A quick story here. I had a chance when I bought Newfoundland.com to buy Maui.com as well, and I passed on it.
Oh.
So there you go. It was, it's a good name.
Yeah.
People still going to Google it, and if he wants to sell travel packages, it's great for that. I don't know if he's going to get a buyer specifically for the name because it's really narrow.
Well, travel, real estate brokers may want, if I was Drew and I lived in Maui and did real estate, Drew at MauiHawaii.com would be pretty memorable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to interject here real quick.
Please.
I remember when and this is very relevant for this show.
Quick break from 3 sponsors of today's show. First, are you tired of being upsold and cross-sold when you buy or renew a domain? Then try the newest registrar being built from the ground up with a beautiful interface, competitive pricing, and 24/7 support. Uniregistry.com will surprise and delight you. The right domain can change your life. Uniregistry.com. Second, investing in Chinese domains is crazy hard without expert native language advice. Now, as a service to the Western domainer community, TLD Registry offers ChineseLandRush.com. Using ChineseLandRush.com will help you invest in Chinese domains with confidence and without knowing a word of Chinese. Finally, MediaOptions is a boutique domain brokerage firm that gets results. They've specialized in helping companies acquire and sell high-value domain names since 2005, with a client list ranging from funded startups to Fortune 500 corporations. Visit MediaOptions.com to learn more.
So I'm going to interject here real quick.
Please.
I remember when and this is very relevant for this show. I remember when I got started, before I was doing any brokering, and it was like when I first discovered that there was even a domain aftermarket. I don't even remember what year this was. It was probably, I don't know, it was 04, 05. And I was still just buying a lot of crap. And I don't remember which domain it was exactly, but it was a citystate.com. And Rick Latona was, had the biggest domain newsletter at the time.
Mhm.
And, he was also probably the most, him and Monty were the two high-flying brokers. And I remember I emailed Rick and I said, "Hey, I've got this domain." It was a pretty big citystate.com. It wasn't Aspen, Colorado, but it was a pretty big city state. And he replied back and he said, "Andrew, don't waste your money. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but citystate.coms have just never gotten any love." And it was like word for word that he wrote to me. And I said, "Oh, okay." And so I appreciated that advice because I thought that I had struck gold and I didn't go out and buy more, which probably saved me a lot of money because, I was looking at stats even back then and saying, holy shit, this thing has, 300,000 people a month. But I think as Paige said, it's a lot of people searching addresses or coordinates or meaningless, non-commercial things in Google, which is why those stats appear so big. So I don't want to pop anybody's bubble, but I appreciated being told that advice and saving money, not buying more of those. And so I'm going to tell you the same. Now, at the same time, I think Adam is correct. I think that there is an angle there to sell that to a travel agent or a real estate agent. But I think that sale is probably $5,000, maybe $10,000 if you got really lucky.
Right. Yep. Good feedback. Bradley, go ahead, Paige.
So who cares? It's a reg domain. What's the difference?
Yeah. Well, he paid up. I think what you're also saying is someone needs to reprove the value of this name. It's kind of like reading a 5-year-old textbook in a classroom and saying, I wonder if that's still true. And I think the idea that a city-state is almost as powerful as a city.com, we just haven't seen it proved in 7 to 8 years. So it needs to actually be proved out that, yes, wow, we did it, we built it, we got great recognition, it got better Google ranking than AspenToday.com or something like that. People seem to resonate toward it. And then we would have a fact pattern to say, wow, something that we thought might be correct actually is correct. But I think working off of a 10 years ago comment that, man, go in, take all the cities, combine them with states, reg them, run it in Esteban, they all have huge values, get them out. I think that's kind of faded that's true, and we need new information. We need new information.
All right. We are running out of time. Bradley, do you have one question for the Sherpas that you want to ask? Maybe the price of a domain name, maybe something that they didn't mention in their reviews?
I had a question here. It was a build-up to a question, but it's a 3-parter. You're running out of time. I understand.
What's the first part of that question, Bradley?
All right. Basically, it's something that's been on my mind, but it says this question regards the Sherpa's innate seasoned experience on valuing domain names. In this example, there's 3 two-word generic exactmatch.com names with organic type-in traffic.
Okay.
Easy to spell, pronounce, pass the radio test, and so on and so forth. These 3 fictitious names all have the same CPC, which is $5 a CPC, a Google keyword plan of 20,000 monthly searches, and Google exact search, 1 million searches with floor-to-ceiling advertisements. Now, however, all stats being identical, each of the domain names have a low, medium, and high competition. The question is, which name would you give more monetary value to, the low, the medium, or high competition, if all the stats are exactly the same?
Got it. Who wants to take it?
Wait, so repeat the last part of the question. Which name would you put the most value on?
Which has the highest valuation, a low, medium, or high ad competition?
I'll take it.
All right, Paige, you start. Adam, you got it next.
I would take what you really think about the name more important than what Esteban says the competition is. Because to come into our industry and say, give me a list of 100 names, 2 of them have high competition, I'll buy those. In many cases, you're going to buy the error. You're going to buy the one that has high competition, but it's either incorrect information or it's not really high. So I don't know if you can take that data point itself and take it with you into negotiation and know that you're going to get the money for it. I would assess the value of the name on all the other criteria, and I wouldn't let the high, middle, or low factor into it. I don't think you could get a tie and have that be important enough where it would factor into it.
Okay.
I would rather look at the name and assess the value yourself and not use those data points.
Adam, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is if you're buying it to park it, you want high competition because the CPC is higher. If you're developing it for ranking, you want low competition. Mm-hmm. If you're developing it for sale, you want low competition. But if you're developing it for yourself, you want high competition. You want it to be a good term where you can make money. So, I mean, you can't give one answer to that. It's got to be based on those scenarios.
Yeah. Good feedback. Drew, any final thoughts on this one?
More or less in line with Adam. I think that, it all depends on what your objective is. I mean, if this is like a secondary site to your primary business website and you're looking to just rank really well for a keyword, then a low competition keyword is great. I mean, you're going to have a lot easier time, spend less money, spend less resources ranking for that keyword. And so that might be more valuable to you. If you're a small insurance agency, motorcycle or, let's say carinsurancequotes.com, although it's an amazing domain and although you can monetize the inbound, type-in traffic if there is any, it's not that valuable to your company because you probably don't have the resources to compete with the big players for that keyword. Whereas if it was a low-value keyword that some long-tail keyword, that domain actually may have more intrinsic value to your business.
Yeah.
But yeah, from a domain investment standpoint, I mean, look, higher competition means more advertisers, more commercial value. Ultimately, I think the higher competition name has more retail value.
Drew, last question is for you. You said you'd buy cannabis lawyers for $2,000. Is that a hard offer that we can present to Bradley right now?
I only make hard offers, man. If it comes out of my mouth, you can take it to the bank.
Bradley, we might have a love connection here. Are you willing to sell cannabislawyers.com for $2,000 to Drew? Or are you going to hold it?
Hey, I appreciate the love. But yeah, nothing is for sale. I want to see what I can do with this. And obviously, if there's a great offer coming out of nowhere and it sounds really good, I'm game. But
all right, we'll try for a love connection next time. Bradley, thanks for submitting your portfolio and making a donation to cancer research. We hope this review has been helpful to you and your domain name investing activities going forward and wish you continued success.
Michael, thank you so much. I just want to simply say I want to thank you so much and all the Sherpas for their opinions and advice. And Mike Cyger for all you have done with your show and for the opportunity to be on your show. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon, Bradley.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bradley, for your donation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
We're going to move on to the marketplace list now. This section is sponsored by NameJet. We'll be reviewing 15 domain names heading to auction soon. If you like one of the names that's listed below on DomainSherpa.com, click through soon because once they go to auction, you lose your chance to put in a minimum bid. All the links just track for NameJet. They're not commissionable links. The list starts with bonjour.tv and ends with wacko.com. And I did verify that Wikipedia does spell wacko, W-H-A-C-K-O, because I thought it was W-A-C-K-O. Paige, let's start with you this time. What do you like on the NameJet list and why?
Well, let's see. Let me tee up my thing. I like Bonjour. I'm a big TV fan. I don't know if it's... I mean, I'd like to buy it cheap. If I owned it, I'd try to sell it for a bunch of money. I don't do well in foreign languages. I don't know when the little punctuation marks go on them and whether they're perceived correctly in their native language. So I would try to get it for a really cheap bid, but I don't know if I'd really be passionate about it.
Yeah.
But great name, great word, and could make a great TV show. Bulletproofing, I thought was a good name. It's more of a B2B use because you want to be proof. You want to buy being bulletproof, and then bulletproofing would be I am a bulletproofing company. So that's not as good as maybe the consumer application, but still, a safety security name. Denver Marijuana Directory. I guess everyone's going to go look for every city and state and marijuana directory. I thought it was just okay. Dunk.org, kind of liked, but again, it's probably the 50,000th best .org out there. EcoCases is okay. I've just never heard the term used. I mean, I understand what it could be, but I've never used it. Corner, kind of liked it. I mean, I'd like to buy it for cheap, but maybe a local site around the corner, your corner store, your corner brokerage. So kind of a neat misspell. Organic TV about organics. I like it. Pink.net I thought was really good. I'd have to look at the comment. I didn't, but good name. Plant Zone, okay. Red Cars. Is there such a thing as a red car? I don't know if it's like green bikes or something.
Everybody loves a red sports car.
Wacko. So Wacko was my best name on the list.
All right.
UNX is a 3-letter. I'll leave it up to the 3-letter guys. But I put Wacko as my best
Russian
name.
communist party.
Hold on, Drew. I know I was supposed to go with you first, Drew. I screwed up and said Paige's name. Let me finish up with Paige. Hey, Paige.
No. I was just making a joke.
If you were going on NameJet and buying Wacko, what's the highest you'd go up to?
Oh, you know me. I'm pretty cheap. Probably 1,500.
Yeah, and what do you think you would ask for it if somebody approached you to buy it?
Probably 25,000.
Yeah, and what about unx.com? You know, people are saying 3 letters with decent letters go for 20 to 30,000 floor. Would you what would you price that one at if you owned it?
I would have to pass. I just don't know the market, and it's such driven on the current market that the October 2014 market could be different than July. So if I hadn't checked in 3 months,
Yeah,
so
it could be volatile. Pink.net, I know you're thinking .nets are undervalued right now. Is that one that you'd actually place a bid in on?
Well, they're undervalued compared to they're never going to be worth anything ever, and you should drop them all. So.
Why are you quoting me? All right. That sounds good. All right, Drew, let's go over to you.
Okay, so there was only there's 3 names that really stood out to me in this list.
Marijuana Directory.
No, I didn't like that name. That's way too long. No.
Okay.
And you've got weedmaps.com. Those guys are rock stars, killing it. I don't want to try and compete there. That's not a business. So I like unx.com. You guys know I'm a big fan of short domains. I mean that's my thing. I think unx.com is great letters. It's right up my style. I've always been probably one of the biggest buyers in the aftermarket for all 3-letter .coms that end in X. Yep. I really like it. I will be buying it. If you think you're going to buy it, you're going to be competing against me.
What if I put in a bid right now for 15K? Are you going to go higher than 15K?
No, I wouldn't go higher than 15K, to be honest. X is not a premium letter. I like it because to me it seems like X is kind of a variable. It's like a wild card.
Could mean exchange. Could mean.
It could be a lot of things. It could be extreme. It could be exchange. It could be transfer, international. It can be a lot of different things. I've seen it used in a lot of different ways, which is why I kind of like it. But ultimately, this is NameJet. It is the aftermarket, and 3-letter domain names really do follow a set of criteria, and best way to learn about that is probably 3character.com. I don't even know who owns that anymore.
Yeah. So what are you going to go up to on UNX?
They lay out the 3 tiers of letters. You've got A, M, N, L, S, T, stuff like that. Which is tier 1. Then you've got tier 2, which is like J, K. I don't know what else is in that tier.
People can go to 3character.com and look it up.
And then tier 3, you got X, Z, and Q, and the really tough letters. So I don't think that this will go to 15, although I've been wrong before, and the market for 3 letters right now is very hot. It's gotten to a point where, for the first time, I think, since I've ever been buying domains, I'm almost I'm hard for me to justify the prices, I think, at this level. Although I'm still, putting my toe in the water in terms of buying in the aftermarket 3 letters. So, but UNX, I think it'll probably do 12 if I had to guess, but it also wouldn't surprise me to see it go to 15.
Well, let's say you picked it up for 12. What would you ask for it?
75 to 100.
Okay. What else do you like on the list, Drew?
I really like bulletproofing.com a lot. I remember when I was in college, I had a friend from a very wealthy family in New Jersey, and I went to his house, and his dad had this a Mercedes that he had bulletproofed. And it was the first time I'd ever seen somebody that had a bulletproof car. And I remember he told me it was like $60,000 to get the car bulletproofed. And I thought, wow. And I remember thinking at that point, like, wow, what a business. Bulletproof cars. Take fancy cars and customize them and make them bulletproof. And so bulletproofing.com, if one car costs
we lost Drew. Maybe he'll come
Does that
back.
mean-
I can't imagine too many people are wanting to bulletproof their car, though.
I think he just got shot.
He should have bulletproofed his camera. All right, Adam, we're going to go over to you.
I like that look on his face. Anyway.
What do you like on the list, Adam?
All right, I don't like much on this list, so this will be quick. I do like bulletproofing. It's
You do?
probably one of my favorites on the list, but not for the same reason as he does. I mean, I realize that there's lots of violence lately, but bulletproofing, I don't know how they tested that car to see if it was bulletproof. I like bulletproofing for a security company that secures your websites and things like that. I think for that, it's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have my website bulletproofed, so to speak. So for that, I think it's good. I don't think anybody's going to spend $60,000 to bulletproof a car unless they're living somewhere in Beirut. I like UNX. I think it's a good name. Other than that, this list stinks.
What do you think bulletproofing's got? And now that you mention it, I love bulletproofing more. Like, I didn't think of it from a brandable or a idea viewpoint. What do you think it's going to sell at, and what would you ask for it if you owned it?
If I would like to build it into a business, I really wouldn't want to sell it. I mean, for me, I think I would price it right now low because you got to build it as a business. Probably it's a 1 to 2K name, but it could be worth a lot more.
Yeah.
And UNX, I like it. Any 3-letter is good. Some of them can sell for $800,000 or $1 million, so it's hard to price them. But Drew's right. The X makes it horrible. It's probably about going to sell for anywhere between 8 to 15, and Drew's right. It should sell for 50 to 75. So
Yeah.
bulletproofing for me is it, but definitely not the car.
All right. Nobody mentioned PlantZone.com, which
I saw it,
which
and it's
Shane
a brandable.
Cultura is always bidding on and never goes high enough.
I've seen it as a brandable, and I saw one other one there as a brandable, but I just don't like it enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Esteban puts pink.net at 76,000. I mean, I don't know what the hell that is. I don't even want to guess. So that's it for me.
All right.
Crap.
Hey, Drew, back to you. Welcome back.
I think he's frozen.
Oh, he is frozen again. All right. Drew's
Speaking-
at his vacation home in Panama. Hopefully next time he'll be back in his office. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. I'm back.
All right, Drew, any
I don't
final
know what
thoughts on the portfolio?
Yeah, the only other name that I liked was pink.net. I think that's just I'm with Paige. I think .nets are undervalued to an extent. I mean, I think it needs to be a real top tier .net for it to be interesting these days. Just because there are so many options, and I think, as Rick Schwartz has always said, .net is kind of like the redheaded stepchild. Just never really found its place. But at the end of the day, it's still the second best in terms of the numbers. It's still the second best domain extension, right? So I mean, if people are betting millions on new domain extensions,
Yeah.
then I certainly wouldn't write off the current second most registered
TLD.
TLD.
So why do you like pink.net? Just because it's brandable and it could be anything?
Oh man, Pink has so many insinuations. I mean, fashion, women, sex. Pink has endless insinuations. I mean, I think, colors are so rare, and Pink is a great name. But you've got a singer. You've got the singer. I mean, she can't own pink.com, so maybe she wants pink.net. Who knows? Who knows? I was in the Apple store in New York, and she was in there, and she spent probably like $30,000 on buying software, and
Wow.
so
So you were hanging out
What's
with
the
Pink
software?
in the Apple store.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I happened to be in the store at the same time she was.
Did you get a picture?
And,
Do you walk
Yeah, I
up
think
behind her
I
and
do.
do a
I think I do have a
selfie?
picture. Yeah, we did. We shamelessly made a selfie with Pink.
That's more impressive than this whole domain about
I
Pink.
know. If you want to see Drew's picture with Pink in the background, post a comment below, and we'll see if he can post it via comments. If we don't get at least 3 people saying, I want to see Drew with Pink, then we won't ask him for it. All right, so nobody likes skinny diet. It seemed like diets were all the rage like a few years ago. There's this type of diet and that type of diet.
Go well with diet. I think I'd rather
You
have.
know what? I think I missed that name.
I'd rather have fat diet than skinny diet. Because people don't diet when they're skinny.
Drew, skinny diet, off the top of your head, do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it. I think I missed that name when I was going through the list.
Yeah.
for whatever reason. But I do like that name. I think that that's a solid name. I've sold a lot of
And goodbye.
you know.
All right. Well, I hope
Name
Drew
Jet
is going to have a
500.
good enough connection for our lightning round because we're going into it. Oh, Drew. All right. He knows how to play. Sherpas, we're entering the lightning round. Today we're playing Name That Price. You know who the reigning champion is?
I do.
Adam Dicker, baby. He beat out Frank Schilling and Dave Evanson last week, who was filling in for Drew and
comeback. In a comeback.
That is not an easy task to do. Took down a couple of legends there, a legend himself, of course. Let's see if another Sherpa can take the summit this week. Here's how the game works. I name 3 domain names that sold within the past 12 months to end users. You write down what you think the price was that it sold at. No looking up search volume, sales, or anything like that. Here comes the first name. Drew, are you with us?
I'm with you.
All right, here he is. First up, datacenters.com. Datacenters.com. What did it sell for? Write down your answer. Datacenters.com. All right, when you're ready, gentlemen, hold up your answers. Drew is going with, it's sideways. All right. Paige is going with 65K. Bam, right off the bat. Drew is going with 125K, and Adam is going, is that 40,000 or 4,000? 40,000. All right, so we've got Adam with 40K, Paige with 65K, Drew with 125K, and the correct answer is $190,000 at domain name sales. Datacenters.com is the leading online resource for buying colocation space, cloud dedicated service, and managed hosting services. So it looks like it's a lead generation site. Drew, you got the W on that one. You were the closest, same order of magnitude. Data centers are clearly big. It seems a little strange that it wasn't purchased by a large corporation, that it was a lead generation site. Why did you think that it was worth 125?
I have to be honest. I remember that sale. I just remember it being a 6-figure sale because actually I thought that I couldn't believe it sold for that much. I personally, I don't really like the plural on that. I think that datacenter.com, it would be a $200,000 to $500,000 name.
Right. Data center sold for $350 because I remember that one.
Okay, so yeah, so I love the singular, but the plural, I personally, if somebody had knocked on my door offering me 40, 50 grand for it, it would have been out the door. But I do remember that popping, and I remember it. Yeah. I remembered it being a 6-figure sale. So
all right, let me go over to Adam. Adam, why did you think it was only worth $40,000?
I don't know. I just thought it was somebody who was just not a big, large company that bought it, and I thought that'd be about their budget.
Okay.
Clearly, I was wrong.
But you know lead generation better than anybody else. Like $40,000 for data center type leads. It seems like you could get a payback pretty quickly on that.
Yeah.
Was it a smart buy for $190,000?
Probably, yeah. I mean, they're probably making a lot more with it now, so I'd say yes.
All right. I'll have to track down the owner, see if they are. Next up, the next domain name is helloloans.com. helloloans.com. What do you think it sold for? Write down your answer. 2-word, brandable. I think a lot of us are looking at brandables now that I've been doing a lot more shows on brandable domain names recently. And Paige is... All right. Adam is going for $6,000. Drew is going for $12,000. Paige is going for the bargain basement retail price of $1,988. All right, we've got another variation here. About $2K for Paige, $6K for Adam, and $12K for Drew. The correct answer is $5,250 on domain name sales. Adam gets the W on that one. It was bought by helloloans.co.uk, so it looks like they were upgrading from a UK domain to the .com. They help people find loans like debt consolidation loans. So was it the fact that I said that it sold and that it was a retail sale of this brandable domain name make you feel that it was worth a lot more, Drew, 12,000?
Well, loans, I mean, those guys spend the financing loan sector, I've seen some really crappy domains sell for good prices in that space.
Yeah.
And I've sold some really crappy domains for good prices in that space. So, it does, I think $5,000 is probably a perfectly normal price for that domain. I put 12 because I thought, a lot of these names do pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. So that, it gives me an idea of like brandable 2-word, $5,000 is a fair price, a good price probably is fair market value, but it could have popped for $12,000,
Well, fair market value. I mean, ultimately, I think that if it hadn't sold and it was in one of those portfolios today, it probably would have been a name that I would have said.
And goodbye.
Well, the other thing that I'll say is it did sell from domain name sales, and Frank's team doesn't sell things that cheaply. So would you say, Adam, that it was probably high retail at $5,250?
No, I think it was a good price. I think that everybody's going to buy a name like that that's so specific and so odd has a real reason for buying it, which is why I priced it at $6,000.
Yeah. All right. Well, nice job on
You're
that
not going
one.
to buy hello in front of it unless there's a reason, because hello loans doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right. Drew is frozen. I think he's going to lose his opportunity to put in his bid on the last one. Drew? Oh, all right. Adam and Paige, here we go. Last up. Now, this one, I cannot verify that it sold to an end user. So I'm going to tell you where it sold, and then I'm going to tell you the domain name. And I picked this one out especially for you, Adam. It's sold at cedo.com, and it's legionofboom.com. Legionofboom.com. What did it sell for? Write down your answer. All right, we've just got 2 Sherpas here. Paige could tie it up. Adam could go for the win. It would be 2 in a row. All right, Paige is going for $499, and Adam is going for $3,000. Do I need to explain Legion? Let me just explain Legion of Boom before I tell you who got the correct answer. Legion of Boom, according to Wikipedia.
Drew's there. Drew's back, I think.
Is he back?
No?
Drew, are you back?
Just put your number in via chat, Drew.
Drew, are you back? Drew. Oh, last chance.
So, do you want to explain the
Chat,
Legion?
get it in.
Paige, you know the Legion of Boom? You know what it is?
Yeah, it used to be a really good football team.
You
Last year. Almost had to hit the beeper.
Hey,
Almost
baby,
had to
we're still 3-3.
I
All right,
would
Legion
say-
of
I would
Boom
say
is our
that's
secondary
down.
on the Seattle Seahawks. Current starters are Maxwell Sherman, Chancellor Thomas. We've got a great defensive team, but we've been having some problems getting going
Legion
this
of
season.
Boom.
Everything's going to come together.
No, it won't. You're 3-3 or whatever you are. You're horrible. Oh, Andrew's back. Give him a chance.
Oh, ye
Give him a
of little
chance.
faith. All right, Drew. Oh, before I say the answer, legionofboom.com. Legion, Legion of boom, BOOM.com. What did it sell for? It sold on Cedo, I'll tell you that much. What, 17,500. Now that is a Seahawks fan if I ever saw one. Thank you very much, Drew. It was not the correct answer. Adam actually nailed it on the dot. $3,000 sale.
Well, that's about what it'd be worth. And if you buy it, try to get it next year, it's going to be like worth 50 cents.
So it said Legion of Boom. It said on the website trademark. On Wikipedia, it says Legion of Boom is a registered trademark of the Seattle Seahawks. When I looked it up, I couldn't find the trademark. It might have been the Legion of Boom, and this is legionofboom.com. I don't know. Anyways, Adam, congratulations.
I thought you said Legion of Doom.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh. I thought it was a play on that. Never mind. All right.
What?
Legion of Doom, I would pay $3,000 for that one. Because, like, who doesn't
And it would
love
be
Legion
trademark.
of Doom? All
And it
right.
would be-
Congratulations, Adam. That's 2 in a row. We are, next time we're on the show, you could go for a 3-peat. I don't know if we've ever had a 3-peat on.
And we probably won't this time either.
Yeah.
It's good to have both of you, Drew. I see 2 of you on the screen.
Oh, awesome.
It's a bonus. All right.
Yeah.
30
You
seconds
only
apiece
get
to
one guess, though.
one guest.
Yeah.
30 seconds apiece to promote anything you want. Let's start with Drew.
Are we back to one?
We're back to one. Yeah.
All right. To promote, well, I don't have anything immediately, but we are coming out with a new brokerage product, completely new and innovative, and changing the way that we handle the lower end of brokerage, which is going to open doors for a lot of people that we have been turning away. That want us to handle, their domains that are, say, between $5,000 and $75,000. And
You're turning away
I'm
stuff
excited about
that's
it.
And
$75,000?
Yeah,
that's
we
the
really
plan?
don't take, unless it's like really aggressively priced. We really don't broker names that are less than, like, when I say broker, I mean me humping the phone, sending emails, or any of my team. Obviously we have the newsletter, and we put names of all
Right.
levels in the newsletter.
Gotcha.
But in terms of end user brokerage, we really don't.
I follow you.
Yeah.
So when is that going to come out, and how do I get access
I
to
don't
it?
want to put a date on it because we haven't solidified everything yet. But we had a meeting today. It's looking really good. I'm really excited about it. It's probably the thing I'm most excited about with MediaOptions right now, and I expect it to come out, within a few months. Within the next, hopefully 60 to 90 days.
Awesome. Paige, let's go over to you.
Let's see. This will come out Monday. We should have new names up on Domain Outlet. We've tried to work with Troy and the guys at Name Investors to switch over the whole site. So right now it's down, but by Monday it should be up. So we should have the new site with their platform up. I know Adam's had a lot of input into their platform and has been their main beta tester. So come on down to the outlet and buy yourself a couple good names.
All right. I can't wait to check it out. Adam Dicker, anything you want to promote?
Just come down and see me at Traffic. I'm getting there next Wednesday. Spend some time with me. I'm really not as bad a guy as Michael makes it out here on the show. Drew, are you going to be there, buddy?
I'm not going to be there, unfortunately.
So you're saying I'm the only one going from the panel?
Yes.
Man, you guys suck. I thought I'd have my buddies with me. So if anybody, now I'm going to have extra time because these guys aren't coming. So if anybody's around, grab me. Let's have a chat and just talk. It's good to talk to
Whatever
people.
you do, just don't let him be a Facebook friend.
And that was an inside joke right before we hit record. Hey, all right. So as a reminder, if you want to see Drew and Pink together in the Apple Store, post a comment below and make sure that you say you want to see it. If you receive benefit from today's show, also post a comment and thank today's Sherpas. Thanks to Bradley Diaz for submitting his portfolio for review and making a generous donation to help find a cure for cancer. Drew, were you going to say something?
I'm going to make one comment. I'm going to give Adam some love. And this is relevant for this time because there's been a huge string of domain thefts recently. It seems to be getting a bigger and bigger problem. And in this past week, one gentleman, a young domain trader who I often buy domains from, has presented with me with a bunch of domain names this week, and 3 of those names turned out to be stolen domains. And I have to say that DN Forum was the way that I was able to verify that those were stolen domains, one of which had been returned to the owner. And so I almost didn't go through with this last sale up to the domain name, but we almost didn't go through with the sale because I found out I found an old archive where it had been stolen. But then I reached out to the rightful owner via DN Forum after finding an old thread from him, and I verified that he did get the domain back and that I was buying it from the actual owner. So when you're doing your due diligence, when you're buying a domain, especially if it's a 3-letter domain or a domain that's got some kind of liquid value, DN Forum is definitely a great place to to verify whether that name is that you're buying it from the right person.
Nice.
I feel the love, Drew. I feel the love.
No, man, you probably saved me, 50, 60 week on DN, 60 grand this week on DN Forum.
Excellent.
That's awesome. All right, thanks to DN Forum and Adam, and thanks for the NameJet for sponsoring the Domain Portfolio Review and the Domain Sherpa Show. Thanks to all of our Domain Sherpas, of course, for continuing to share their experience and insights. We'll see you all next time.